In this video, we pay tribute to legendary wrestlers who are no longer with us, honoring their unforgettable contributions to the world of wrestling. Their passion, skill, and larger-than-life presence continue to inspire fans everywhere. We also share a heartfelt update on AJ Styles, whose recent news has touched the wrestling community deeply. This is a celebration of legacies, memories, and the enduring spirit these icons leave behind. Subscribe to join us in keeping their stories alive and ensuring their impact is remembered for generations. Road Warrior Animal, born Joseph Michael Laurinaitis on September 12, 1960, carved out a place in wrestling history as one half of one of the most iconic tag teams the sport has ever seen. Alongside his legendary partner Hawk, he formed the Road Warriors, known to WWE fans as the Legion of Doom, a duo that redefined what it meant to be dominant, intimidating, and unforgettable inside the ring. What set the Road Warriors apart was more than just their unmatched strength and intensity. Their look was just as legendary as their in-ring dominance: spiked shoulder pads, intimidating face paint, and a raw, larger-than-life energy that made them feel untouchable. For fans in the 1980s and 1990s, seeing them storm to the ring was an event in itself. Their presence demanded attention, and their style of hard-hitting, high-impact wrestling earned them the reputation of being one of the most feared teams in the business. Animal's career took off in the mid-1980s through promotions like the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, and World Championship Wrestling, WCW, where the Road Warriors quickly became household names. They collected championships wherever they went, leaving behind a trail of dominant performances and inspiring countless future wrestlers who grew up idolizing their "take no prisoners" approach. But Animal wasn't just about power and intimidation. He carried an undeniable charisma and presence that connected with audiences worldwide. Along with Hawk, he pioneered the idea of wrestlers embodying a true badass persona, blending punk rock attitude with unmatched athleticism. That influence is still seen in wrestling today, decades after their rise. After Hawk's sudden passing in 2003, Animal carried the weight of their legacy, appearing occasionally in wrestling events to honor their bond and what they had built together. His contributions to the sport were formally recognized when the Road Warriors were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2011, a moment that celebrated both his career and the brotherhood he shared with Hawk. Road Warrior Animal passed away in 2020 at the age of 60, but his influence endures. For fans, he wasn't just part of a legendary tag team. He was a symbol of intensity, strength, and an era of wrestling that will never be forgotten. Brian Christopher Lawler, born on January 10, 1972, in Memphis, Tennessee, grew up surrounded by the world of wrestling. As the son of Jerry the King Lawler, one of the most iconic figures in the industry, wrestling was always a part of his life. But Brian didn't simply ride his father's name. He worked to carve out his own identity, developing a style and persona that made him stand out in the ring. He began wrestling in the early 1990s, starting in regional promotions where he quickly showed off his charisma and natural athleticism. His big break came in 1997 when he signed with WWE, where fans would come to know him as Grandmaster Sexay. With his flashy outfits, high-energy entrances, and infectious dance moves, he instantly caught people's attention. Brian truly hit his stride when he teamed up with Scotty 2 Hotty to form the tag team Too Cool. Their blend of comedy, dancing, and solid in-ring performances made them one of the most entertaining acts of the late 1990s and early 2000s. Alongside Rikishi, their iconic dance celebrations after matches became a staple of WWE programming. In 2000, Brian and Scotty captured the WWE Tag Team Championship, cementing their place in wrestling history. Beyond championships, though, Brian's greatest impact came from the joy he brought to audiences. Fans remember the laughter, the energy, and the way he could light up an arena just by dancing across the ring. Even when the wrestling world was filled with larger-than-life characters, Grandmaster Sexay managed to shine in his own unique way. After leaving WWE, Brian continued to wrestle on the independent circuit, staying connected to the sport he loved. However, his journey wasn't without struggles. He faced personal battles and legal issues that often overshadowed his career, but fans never forgot the moments he gave them in the ring. Tragically, Brian Christopher passed away on July 29, 2018, at the age of 46. His loss was deeply felt across the wrestling community. While his life had ups and downs, his legacy remains that of a performer who brought excitement, fun, and unforgettable memories to fans around the world. Butch Reed, born on July 11, 1958 in Kansas City, Missouri, was a professional wrestler who left a lasting mark on the sport through his incredible athleticism, charisma, and undeniable presence in the ring. Fans remember him not only for his strength and agility, but also for the energy he brought to every performance. Reed began his wrestling journey in the late 1970s, but it was during the 1980s that he truly made a name for himself. Competing in promotions like the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, World Wrestling Federation, WWF, and later World Championship Wrestling, WCW, Reed showcased a unique blend of power and athletic ability. His strong physique, combined with surprising quickness for his size, made him stand out among his peers. Early in his career, Reed wrestled under the ring name The Natural Butch Reed, a moniker that perfectly captured his raw talent and natural ability inside the squared circle. He quickly earned respect for his in-ring style and found himself involved in memorable rivalries and storylines. Beyond singles competition, Reed also shined in tag team wrestling. His partnership with Ron Simmons as the legendary Team Doom in WCW became one of the most dominant duos of their era. Together, they won the WCW World Tag Team Championship, carving out a reputation as one of the toughest teams in professional wrestling history. Reed's career also included a high-profile moment on the grand stage of WrestleMania 4 in 1988, a testament to how far he had risen in the industry. Fans admired his intensity, while fellow wrestlers respected his toughness, work ethic, and ability to adapt to different wrestling styles. After stepping away from active competition, Reed continued to give back to the business, mentoring younger wrestlers and sharing his knowledge with the next generation. He wasn't just a performer, he was a teacher and a role model to those who followed in his footsteps. Butch Reed's passing was a great loss to the wrestling world, but his influence lives on. He is remembered as a trailblazer whose legacy of strength, resilience, and passion continues to inspire both fans and wrestlers alike. Bruiser Brody, born Frank Donald Goodish, was one of those rare wrestlers who seemed larger than life in every sense. With his towering frame, wild hair, and unrelenting intensity, he became one of the most feared and respected figures in professional wrestling. Fans around the world knew him for his brawling, hard-hitting style and his ability to make every match feel unpredictable, raw, and real. Standing over 6 feet tall with a presence that immediately commanded attention, Brody wasn't the kind of wrestler who stayed confined to the ring ropes. His matches often spilled out into the crowd, turning into chaotic brawls that blurred the line between performance and genuine fight. That aura of danger and unpredictability became his calling card, earning him a reputation as a true warrior of the squared circle. Brody's career took him all over the globe, from the United States to Japan and Puerto Rico. He wrestled in major promotions like World Class Championship Wrestling, WCCW, the American Wrestling Association, AWA, and New Japan Pro Wrestling, NJPW. Along the way, he built legendary rivalries with the likes of Abdullah the Butcher, Stan Hansen, and the Von Erich family, rivalries still talked about decades later for their sheer brutality and intensity. What set Brody apart wasn't just his in-ring ferocity, but his strong sense of independence. He was never afraid to stand up to promoters, protect his worth, or call out unfair treatment. That stubborn streak sometimes made him controversial, but it also won him the respect of his peers. To many, he wasn't just another performer. He was the real deal, a man who lived and wrestled on his own terms. Tragically, Bruiser Brody's life was cut short at the age of 42, leaving the wrestling world stunned. His death remains one of the sport's most heartbreaking moments. Yet, his legacy endures. Modern hardcore and brawling wrestlers continue to borrow from his style, and his influence can still be felt in arenas across the world. Posthumously honored by multiple wrestling halls of fame, Bruiser Brody is remembered not only as a great wrestler, but as a symbol of toughness, authenticity, and unshakable individuality. Blackjack Mulligan, born Robert John Heck on November 25, 1942, was more than just a towering presence in the wrestling ring. He was a larger-than-life personality whose legacy stretched across decades of professional wrestling. Standing an incredible 6 feet 9 inches and weighing over 300 pounds, Mulligan looked every bit the intimidating force fans expected him to be. Yet behind the rough exterior was a man who truly loved the sport and left an indelible mark on it. Mulligan began his wrestling career in the 1960s, quickly carving out a name for himself in territories across the country. With his rugged cowboy persona and tough-as-nails attitude, he became the kind of character audiences either cheered with passion or booed with equal intensity. His finishing move, the devastating sleeper hold, became one of his trademarks, often leaving opponents out cold as the crowd roared. Over the years, Mulligan found success not only as a singles competitor, but also as a tag team star. He teamed up with legends like Ernie Ladd, Greg Valentine, and even his own son, Barry Windham, creating moments that fans still talk about. Together with Blackjack Lanza, he formed the famed tag team, the Blackjacks, a duo that dominated the 1970s and eventually earned a place in the WWE Hall of Fame. Mulligan himself was officially inducted in 2017, a long overdue recognition of his contributions to the sport. Championship gold came his way throughout his career, including reigns as NWA United States Tag Team Champion and WWF, now WWE, World Tag Team Champion. But perhaps more importantly, Mulligan used his knowledge and experience to guide others. He became a mentor, promoter, and trainer, helping shape the paths of young wrestlers who looked up to him. When he passed away in 2016 at the age of 73, the wrestling world mourned the loss of one of its true giants, not only in size, but in influence. Fans remembered his booming presence, his cowboy swagger, and the way he made professional wrestling feel larger than life. To this day, Blackjack Mulligan's name stands tall, representing a time when wrestling was raw, rugged, and unforgettable. Alan Neil Jones, better known as AJ Styles, has carved out one of the most remarkable careers in professional wrestling. From his early days on the independent circuit to becoming a cornerstone of WWE, Styles has been celebrated for his unmatched athleticism, smooth technique, and ability to tell powerful stories inside the ring. Yet behind every breathtaking move and championship moment lies a career that has often been tested by injuries. For Styles, pain has never been an unfamiliar opponent. Over the years, he has endured a series of setbacks, some that briefly sidelined him and others that sparked speculation about the longevity of his career. Through it all, he has proven not only his toughness, but also his resilience, repeatedly returning stronger than before. The Lisfranc injury, a hard-hitting blow. One of the most serious injuries Styles has dealt with in recent years was a Lisfranc injury to his midfoot. This kind of injury, which damages the ligament that stabilizes the arch, can be devastating for athletes, especially for someone whose wrestling style relies heavily on agility and balance. For a high flyer like Styles, even the smallest instability in the foot can completely alter performance. The injury forced him out of action for an extended period, a rare absence for a performer who prides himself on consistency. Styles admitted that the recovery process was grueling, involving intense physical therapy and careful conditioning to rebuild strength. Still, he refused to let the setback define him. His eventual return was a reminder of both his discipline and his determination to remain one of the best in the world. Shoulder setback at the Royal Rumble. The 2020 Royal Rumble delivered one of the scariest moments in Styles' career. During a dramatic encounter with Edge, Styles landed awkwardly after taking a spear, dislocating his shoulder. The injury was painful and immediately noticeable, cutting his night short and leaving fans worried about how long he would be out. Rehabilitation was slow and demanding, requiring him to rebuild strength in the joint while preventing long-term complications. When Styles returned, it was with the same sharpness and intensity that had defined his career, proving that even a serious injury could not derail his momentum for long. Lingering aches, ankles, knees, and back. Beyond the headline-grabbing injuries, Styles has also lived with the quiet grind of wear and tear. His ankles and knees, constantly absorbing the impact of dives, springboards, and high-flying maneuvers, have taken punishment over the years. While these issues have rarely kept him away from the ring for long, they have required him to make adjustments. Similarly, back pain has become a reality of life for Styles. After more than 2 decades of taking bumps and performing night after night, he has been candid about the chronic discomfort he faces. Instead of letting these problems slow him down, Styles has relied on stretching, conditioning, and therapy to keep himself in performing shape. His honesty about the toll wrestling takes has only deepened fans' respect for his work ethic. Separating truth from speculation. With Styles being such a high-profile name, rumors about his health are common. Some whispers have suggested that he was considering retirement due to his injuries. While Styles has acknowledged that his body doesn't recover as quickly as it once did, he has made it clear that he intends to keep wrestling for as long as he feels capable. Others claimed that his Lisfranc injury might end his career entirely. In reality, while the injury was severe, Styles committed himself to recovery and returned to WWE without showing signs of slowing down. His comeback silenced doubts and reinforced the idea that he thrives under adversity. The recent rumor, a possible back flare-up. In recent months, speculation has circulated that Styles may be dealing with a recurring back issue, an injury that occasionally flares up during WWE's demanding travel schedule. While neither Styles nor WWE has confirmed anything beyond routine soreness, fans online have pointed to his occasional absences and toned-down moveset as evidence of lingering problems. Though rumors often exaggerate the truth, Styles himself has admitted in interviews that years of wrestling at a high level come with constant aches. Whether or not his back has caused recent delays, it's clear that Styles is realistic about managing his health while still giving fans his best every time he steps through the ropes. The secret to longevity. What allows AJ Styles to keep coming back from injury after injury is not just toughness, it's discipline. He has built a routine of recovery and training that emphasizes strength, conditioning, and flexibility. Unlike earlier in his career, when he focused primarily on athletic explosiveness, he now trains smarter, emphasizing durability and long-term performance. Nutrition, rest, and therapy sessions play a critical role in his longevity. Styles has been open about the importance of ice baths, massages, and stretching techniques, all of which help him push through the grind of a WWE schedule. This balance between performance and recovery is a key reason he continues to defy expectations. Looking ahead in WWE. Despite his battles with injuries, AJ Styles remains one of WWE's most valuable performers. His combination of technical mastery, storytelling ability, and undeniable charisma ensures that he doesn't need to rely solely on high-risk maneuvers to thrill audiences. Even if he chooses to scale back physically, his presence alone guarantees compelling matches and unforgettable rivalries. As he moves forward, Styles is expected to carefully manage his workload, listening to his body while still giving everything he has in the ring. Fans know that whenever he appears, they are witnessing a performer who refuses to let injuries define him. Conclusion: phenomenal resilience. AJ Styles' career is a story not just of athletic greatness, but of resilience in the face of adversity. From his Lisfranc injury to the shoulder dislocation at the Royal Rumble and the ongoing whispers about his back, Styles has encountered challenges that might have ended lesser careers. Instead, he has continued to adapt, recover, and perform at an elite level. His journey is proof that setbacks are not the end, but opportunities to come back stronger. For Styles, Every return is another chance to remind the world why he truly is phenomenal. Not just for what he does inside the ring, but for his ability to rise above the pain and keep moving forward.